Women, if possible, have it worse. Their ordeal is recorded in drawings by inmate Yefrosina Kesonovskaya. Night search. On your feet. Strip. Kitchen garbage. Fish scales and acorns are wolfed down. The living trundle out the dead for roll call. Starved corpses weigh little. You can carry 2. I buried up to 100 a day. When the guards let you meet a man in the toilet, women get pregnant. Incredibly, babies are born. Stalin is a friend to all children. They call him their nation's father.
As a small child, I was taken from my parents and placed in one of these camps. There are only a few dim things that remain in my memory: carting sand, playing with the other children, and the fierce dogs. But clearest in my memory is the horse. It was an old horse, half starved to death, but to us children it was beautiful. Every evening at sunset it would pass by the children's barracks, and that horse was our only joy in life. The work and the exercises they gave us kept us occupied most of the day. But in the evening we ran after that horse. We paid no attention to the hands and feet sticking out from under the canvas covering the cart that the horse was pulling. These were the corpses that were taken out every day.
In the gulags, few die naturally. The dead lie for days, unburied.
Say, a person dies, but since everyone was hungry beyond belief, and it was already difficult to stand up, the supervisors allowed us to sit up in our bunks during roll call. They did not look at us too closely, and we didn't have to answer. And so, for 3 days, we would prop up a corpse in bed in order to get his food ration. Of course, we would divide the dead man's ration into 42 equal parts, honestly. The only crumbs, everyone got his share.
The gulags might as well be on the moon. Escape is not possible.
There is no escape possible from Kolyma. It was an act of desperation to attempt to escape from that fear, the terror of being shot each minute. We were deliberately going to our own deaths, if only to taste the sweetness of freedom for a few days.
Escapees are hunted down with dogs.
Covering yourself up in a padded jacket like this, right up over the head and neck, you would plunge down, doubling up your knees, and then the dog would grab and shake you by the head. Here, I still have the marks of dog teeth. On both sides I was bitten. Well, what else can I say? The dogs were terrible. Beside that, when the dog handlers would come up, they would stand there for a long time watching the dogs tear apart a prisoner. They wouldn't recall the dogs immediately.
In spite of everything, desperate attempts are made, but none succeed.
The second bullet brought me down. It passed through here. There is a scar, as thick as your finger. I was unconscious. I came to only when I was being dragged by my feet. But I didn't dare open my eyes, for they would have finished me off on the spot. I waited until they dragged me into the camp, and when I opened my eyes, I saw that there were morning stars in the sky. The sun was rising. We were dragged out into an open space, and they started kicking us. The dead bodies lay around for a long time, about 2 weeks, near the guardhouse, so that everyone would see and understand that it was impossible to escape from Kolyma.
For Stalin, the gulags and their wretched inmates are a key economic asset. A relatively small investment in terror nets him the greatest slave army since the pharaohs. Their starvation diet costs a pittance, and the supply of replacements seems inexhaustible. On the bones of this scarecrow army, Stalin builds his most prestigious projects. The first was the Belomor-Baltic Canal, then the Moskva-Volga and Volga-Don canals, the Siberian railways, the Magnitogorsk iron and steel giant, cities in the Far East, the gold of Kolyma, the timber of the north, the great Russian river dams, most of the facilities of the atomic and defense industries, and the showcase facade of Moscow, the high-rise skyline of the capital. For his leadership, Stalin is saluted by a grateful nation. In the schools, children memorize a verse praising Stalin's hallowed name. Wherever we build our cities, his sacred name is with us. For the NKVD's work, medals are awarded. Here, Kalinin decorates a group of officers. Soon after, many will descend into the cellars. Because of what they know, their mouths will be silenced, but not with a kiss. Even the bloody dwarf must go, and is blamed for all atrocities. His executioners report that Yezhov scurries around his cell, squeaking like a mouse and dodging bullets.